So today we're going to talk about video, and specifically video for social media. So we're going to go and break down a few different aspects of it for you guys. If you've met us before, then you know that we're Miami locals. We've been here and working on digital marketing projects for a combined 15 years now. So it's pretty crazy. We were just talking about like how much we've done in the past few years, how much growth has happened in South Florida.
Absolutely.
So we're excited to be here and continuing to be a part of the community and help out whichever way possible. So to break down today's agenda, we'll give you a little bit of an overview of how social is doing right now, how video is performing on it. And then we'll go into things like how to create engaging video content, optimizing them for specific channels, and how to make some money on it as well. So and we'll close it out with live Q&A, how we always close it out. So let's get started. And we'll start off with this one stat. It's already 2017. They say that almost 75%, is already video traffic when it comes to the internet. So video content is huge. Everyone's using it and it's dominating the web right now. 45% of people watch at least an hour of video on either Facebook or YouTube. So you can tell that people are spending a lot of time watching these and consuming this media type. 85% of Facebook videos watched without sound, though. So that's something to keep in mind as we go through this process and tell you ways to make sure that you're using video the proper way. And last but not least, we have 6 in 10 YouTube subscribers said they would follow advice from someone that's one of their YouTube creators, as opposed to, let's say, a celebrity or someone who's famous. So that's something to keep in mind because of the trust level that you can build with someone. So to round that up, video content is you have social platforms that are encouraging the use of it, like Facebook, and you really can get your message across more effectively and powerfully as you can with video. So it's something to keep in mind when you're creating content. So here we have a few different things that I think John could go and break down so we can go through these different processes.
Yeah, definitely, guys. So we're glad you guys can hear us clearly. So creating engaging video content, it starts with a few things. And, we're firm believers in the fact that video content resonates with people, it's long-lasting, and it works a lot for conversions. So when you're creating your engaging video content, you kind of want to think about, where do I start, right? First, you want to look at content ideas to consider. So that's what we're going to go over in the next few slides of what types of content resonates with people and helps them perform and convert. And then the best practices for social video content and what should your content entail, what should it be about, and how can you influence and engage your users. And the third thing is video equipment options. We're going to go through equipment that we both have used in the past and that we use with our current videos. And these range from low budget to a high budget, right? So it's something for everyone to be able to utilize and create this video content. You want to go ahead and
go into it?
Yeah. So video content ideas. The first one is educational, informative. These are the types of content that can provide value to people. This is basically what David and I do on a weekly and monthly basis. You want to be able to, Fabian says, nice beard. This guy, man, I love it. Teach your customers something new. So David actually was talking about how he purchased a camera in regards to, he looked on YouTube, he looked for the specific cameras he was looking to buy. And this channel specifically on the right-hand side, you can see that image. They actually went out, reviewed the cameras, and then they also held inventory of these cameras. So David, seeing them as an influencer in the space, said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and purchase my camera from this company because they provided value.
Yeah, the big thing was that I noticed while I was doing my shopping, not only did they have the option, they were the most affordable option available, but I would have never considered them had I not been exposed to that video and remember that name that was attached to the channel that provided all that content, all that information as to like why you should buy or not buy this camera.
Exactly. And you want to be able to fill them in on industry-related information. So one example could be we do a weekly video blog just about informative content about digital marketing. So one thing we talked about is, hey, these are the best e-commerce platforms to utilize and leverage, and that really provides a lot of value to people, whereas they'll come back and ask questions. So some examples of educational content would be, if you're a realtor, you can do a video on your favorite communities in your area. You can also provide home purchase tips. As a teacher, you could do educational hacks, right? Things that you can teach your children at home, top resources that are free online. And then as an accountant, you can talk about tips for saving money and ways to improve credit. Now, you can also write about these, but video just resonates because it shows your face. You can take that video content, convert it to a podcast, and so many other things.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of company culture, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that helps build your brand, who you are, kind of people that work at your office, and so that customers can have a better idea as to who they're dealing with. So in this case, we have an example of another agency called Purple Rock Scissors, and, they're showing that whole May the 4th, they're Star Wars fans, they're showing, a piece of their personality in that content, which is not really a selling point, but it's just showing, hey, look, we're human. This is what we like, and these are the things that we think are fascinating. And that's something that you can do with your company, day in the life. What is it like to be in your office? If you go on a trip or you're doing a special shoot or something, are you showing behind the scenes of that? Maybe you record a meeting. Maybe it's not confidential, but something that's a little bit more of a conversation or a brainstorm session. We have different ways that you can showcase these experiences that you're having that other people don't really get to see it on a day-to-day basis. So in terms of video content ideas, you also have interviews, discussions, and webinars like this one.
Yeah.
You can have people where you can invite experts in your field. You can have a discussion, a panel of experts or other people that are related to your industry that you think can provide information that's going to be valuable to your current customer base. And obviously hosting webinars with Q&A sessions. These kinds of things allow for conversation so they can get to know you on a different level. So, some of the examples we gave is like a restaurant. You can interview your chef so they can know their background, what inspires them, why they do it, or invite your local foodie community to come and have a dinner or have a panel discussion as to how the community is doing or talking about a specific cuisine. So these are just some examples of things depending on, your industry you can choose from. It's all about getting creative and putting that onto video form.
Yeah, exactly. And just to add on to what David said, interviews make it a lot easier for you as a business owner because you don't have to think about, okay, I'm going to have to answer these questions. I'm going to have to create the content. Essentially, you're able to curate this content based on the interview questions that you have, and the interviewee becomes the focal point, right? So you don't have to really focus on creating this elaborate blog or video content. And then the great thing is you also get to leverage their fan base, right? Because if you're interviewing someone and the interview comes out great, they love it, they're going to share with their friends, their family, their partners, and then it just kind of snowballs into this larger piece of content.
For sure. And there's so much you can do with it. I think you have more on this one too.
Yeah. So other ideas for video content, I mean, you can do humor and parody videos. There are guys, kids, in their late teens, early 20s that are making thousands of dollars by making funny videos on Instagram and leveraging their fan base that way. You can also do product videos like Michelle Fan on the right-hand side. She has 8.8 million subscribers on YouTube. She does a lot of beauty blog content. Her content went from, okay quality to stellar quality, and she makes thousands of dollars a year from her video content. Then onboarding videos, if you're bringing in new clients, if you're bringing in new employees, you can do these cool videos that are interactive that can save you time because you're showing them those videos and they're able to learn from that as opposed to having to say it over and over again. And then testimonials. We do this for real estate clients. These videos for testimonials work really, really well because you're able to see people in the community that also have an affinity towards someone. And then before and after videos. I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory, but there are tons of different options that you can use.
For sure. And the next step is also breaking down some of these best practices. There's plenty of them, but we gave you a few key ones here to keep in mind. So the first one is mobile. And when it goes down to mobile, majority of people are consuming social content on their mobile devices. So if you're creating a video, you have to think about not just doing a widescreen ratio when you're shooting. You might think of square cropped, or you might think of vertical as other options. People are going to be looking at smaller screens than maybe your HD TV that you have in your living room. So you have to think about the size. You have to think about how people are spending their time on the mobile device when you're creating it. That goes in hand with the timing. How much time should your video be? In general, it should be short on social. You can create content that could be longer and maybe tease it on social and have it live on your website or on YouTube or on another channel where people generally spend more time and are willing to sit down and watch a 5, 10, 15, 30-minute video. But on social, you kind of want to keep it under a minute or around a minute. That's usually where people are going to be comfortable, and if they want to see more, they can watch it later. Moving on to, lighting, you make sure you have ample lighting in these situations, unless you're going to be shooting something that's a little bit of a different stylistic, low-lit environment. But in general, keep it well with the lighting, have ample lighting or have sunlight somewhere that can keep the room bright enough for people to see. And last but not least, while we said that 85% of people are watching Facebook videos without audio, if you have any audio that needs to be, if you're speaking or there's actual content that you want them to hear, you're either going to have to write it out in a caption or you're going to have to include that in text graphics on your video. The same way that like Tasty does it with their recipe videos or how to make this. If people just see a bunch of images flying around and they're not really understanding where it's going, you're not driving your message home. You're probably going to use captions or some text to make sure that they see it. Moving on to video camera, and John could talk about this because it's one of his setups.
Yeah. So if you guys see the image on the left-hand side, that's actually my camera setup for the weekly videos that we do for marketing content. So if you look at number one, that's a smartphone or DSLR. For low-budget options, if you have a smartphone like a Galaxy or an iPhone, most of these cameras or most of these smartphones capture video in 1080p. The newer phones even capture it in 4K, and you can even move it up to 60 frames per second. So you can actually use your smartphone to take high-quality video. Now, when it comes to other options, the tripod was about $30, really cheap on Amazon. You can see that at number 2. The microphone is number 3. Zoom lens is number 4. That usually comes stock with any DSLR. My DSLR in particular is an SL1. It's a small DSLR. It's about $379 right now. So it's one of the lower-end ones. And then the last piece is a teleprompter, which you might not need to have, but is a nice option. And then we kind of want to talk about, this is my actual setup. All these links go straight to Amazon where you can get the content that you need or the items that you need. But the first one is the DSLR camera, the Canon SL1, which is actually $469. I just saw it on sale last week. The shotgun mic is about $30. Tripod is $26. The lapel mic is $19, and the lighting kit is $55. So if you're working with a lower budget and for just a smartphone, so you want to get high quality content with your smartphone, all you'll need from this list is your tripod, which is $26.95. And then you'll just need a lapel mic and some good lighting. With the lapel, you can actually plug that directly into your phone and get high quality audio for your content. So it's a really simple way to get effective video. And I've seen tons of people record quality content with their smartphones. I mean, it's really remarkable where we're at right now.
The point is that this is all in all, just over $500, $600 worth of equipment that you can use over and over again and have it for your personal team, your staff to use. If that's something, if you're going lower budget, if you want to go higher budget, you work with other agencies and companies that have the equipment and the team that are willing to do it. But this is something that if you want to set up a studio and record stuff and have interviews, like we mentioned, this is, a starter kit that you can work with and build your way up. The shotgun mic records sound well in terms of separating someone. Yeah, I mean, Don, what do you think about that shotgun mic?
So the shotgun mic works in controlled environments really well because, the sound doesn't bounce off the walls too bad. It's also good for if you're in a public setting and you're trying to record people like on the street, they don't have to wear the lapel mic. What I suggest is if you're shooting in a controlled environment, have the lapel plugged into your smartphone, record that, and then also use the shotgun mic to record. But yeah, it records really well, especially the Techstar. For $30, you can't get a better deal.
Yeah, for sure. And then Rode also has a few.
Yeah, Rode has the best one.
Yeah.
The Rode shotgun is about $100, but that's probably the best one in the market.
Yeah, right now in terms
of
consumer. In terms of higher budget options, you can go with an entry-level DSLR with other stuff, but, you go into higher-level professional DSLRs. People usually think about Canon and Nikon as the major companies, but right now Sony is really killing it with some of their new with their new camera bodies. So like the Sony A7 is massively like outperforming a lot of these other cameras. In terms of investing in lenses, you maybe don't want just one lens. You kind of have to go after some of these other lenses that are focused on either wide or close-ups, and look into having a variety so that when you're shooting, you're not just stuck in one mode. The little photo on the right-hand side is a little bit of my equipment that I've purchased over time. The one longer camera on the left is the Osmo, which is a stabilizer. So when you're shooting, it's going to stabilize all movement. There's not going to be shakiness. There's not going to be anything that's going to make things, look a little bit shaky. So that's something that you can purchase that one. That one I invested a decent amount. It was like $650 at the time. But there's other ones that you can attach to your camera or to your phone, which are cheaper and stabilize it as well. The 360 camera is the one that's being held in the hand. That's I haven't used that one specifically, but I'm just giving you the option that you might look into that, because now 360 is going to become more and more prominent on social content. Facebook is making that feature available, and it's easy for you to just go ahead and be ahead of the curve by purchasing something like this. And last but not least, obviously drone footage, which the TAMS agency uses a lot. They're doing a great job with that kind of stuff. And drone footage is, as you've seen, it can be very spectacular. Humans aren't able to do that kind of footage other than being in a helicopter. So now that we can do it handheld, it's pretty awesome. And, to close it out, you're going to need video editing software or a video editor to hand this off to. If you don't have it, then I don't know how you're going to cut up all the content you just put together. You can use some of these free options, or like if you have an Apple, there's iMovie. You can download Lightworks, is another company. We use Premiere, and other people use Final Cut Pro, and they're paid options, but they have a ton of different features that you can use, and you can go really in depth, or you can keep it simple and just splice things together.
Yeah, and just to add on to what David said, you can find freelance video editors, people that'll just cut up and add your intro and outro. That'll just take care of that kind of mundane work that you don't really want to work on for a free, affordable price. I mean, they're not going to do anything outlandish and crazy, but they'll definitely put your video together pretty well on freelancer.com or upwork.com. And if you guys need help kind of tailoring a message that you want to send to these individuals, let us know. We'll be happy to help out.
For sure. The next step would be breaking it down by the different channels. We'll give you a couple tips and notes of, channel by channel, what to look out for and how to break it down. So the first one I'll go into is Facebook, which I actually stumbled upon this screen by accident, which was that they have a whole section. I was on desktop and I saw they have a live video section. And when you click it, it pulls up this map similar to like Periscope and other places where you can see everyone that's going live on a public live stream right now. And at that moment, it was a Sunday, so there was a lot of church services that were using it, or people hanging out by the pool. There was just a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I discovered because Facebook is now expanding the discovery features. So that's something to keep in mind. In terms of video on Facebook, they allow you to retarget based on people who've watched your video, and not just watched it, but they watched at least half, 75%, 95%. So that people who you can target just people who've watched your videos up to 95%, so they're fully engaged all the way through. And the next video you shoot out, you only hit them with it because they're more likely to sit down and watch it. They've already done it once. They're probably more likely to do it again. So, and going back to live is hot right now. You take advantage of it. It's going to become more and more saturated. But if you're a brand that capitalized on it right now, you're going to be ahead of the curve. And then last but not least, video ads are the most cost-effective on Facebook. You're getting cents per view. Something that's almost unheard of in this industry before social came about. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to push out ads on Facebook, maybe convert it to a video or use a video instead of just static. And I'll let John go into the YouTube stuff. He's a little bit more.
Yeah. No, so we can, YouTube alone, like optimizing your video content, we could spend 30 minutes alone just talking about how to optimize your titles and your content so that it ranks on YouTube search engine. As you guys know, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world behind the king, Google. But posting your video on YouTube right now just isn't enough. There's quick ways too, to optimize your video content. So first thing you want to do is write a detailed title and thorough description. when it comes to your title, let's say you're talking about, how to find the best bottled water, right? You want to kind of research other competitors and see what titles they're using and kind of capitalize on that and try and see how you can improve it. So if someone puts, how to find the best bottled water, you could put how to find the best bottled water in your region or your specific area. And then in that title, you want to put the name of your YouTube channel. That way you can become a differentiator and add a little bit of length to that description. Also, when it comes to your description, you want to make that lengthy as well. Provide a summary, a synopsis, and then also provide links to all of your social channels. If you add the HTTP and the www dot, the description can actually be clickable, and people can click from YouTube to your subscribe link, to your website, to a specific blog page, whatever you create. And then lastly, just one of the quick tips is to include a custom thumbnail. It's really important to have a custom thumbnail because it'll differentiate you from the competition. Instead of just having a static image, maybe have the title in the image, a cool picture, some vivid colors like green or blues to offset that white background that YouTube has to really draw attention to your YouTube videos.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to go back on is the transcribing your video content. That's something that people, like, you're just repackaging your content. If it was an entire webinar, an entire conversation, instead of having people sit there, you could also transcribe it. And now that can become a blog post, that can become an infographic, that could become a quote image on social. Like, there's just so many things you can do with that. And it just makes it easier. You're using content you've created and just like taking it and giving it legs. And
if you need to transcribe your video content, just go to Fiverr, Fiverr, look for transcription. Usually it's about $5 or $6 to transcribe about 5 to 10 minutes of video. So it's definitely a good investment because you can add that to your YouTube video to give it more legs, just like David said.
For sure. And Instagram, some of the stuff that they've been doing recently is mostly copying Snapchat, but they're still making it a better platform. This is something like, when it comes to Instagram, it's something you might consider shooting vertical the same way that you would shoot on like Snapchat as well. Their stories are all vertical, so that maybe the videos that you shoot have vertical in mind. You don't have to shoot the entire thing in vertical, but you might want to keep it in frame so that when you do crop it to vertical, everything shows and it can still work on an Instagram story. Looping and boomerang style videos, they work well on Instagram they wouldn't work well on YouTube. They wouldn't work as well on Facebook, even though there's synergy there. But it started on Instagram and it started on other platforms. Like, if you want to use content like that, looping and boomerang style videos are perfect on Instagram. And then they're also expanding their discovery features. Like, beyond the hashtags, they just added these stickers which also have a hashtag, and you can click that hashtag on the story and see all the other content that's being posted. So that expands your possibility of being discovered by other people as well. And now they're pushing the carousel format a little bit more with like multiple photos. So you can use videos in those carousels. It doesn't just have to be photos. So you might want to create a series where it's 3-4 videos, and that 1 minute video, you're only showing 5 seconds here, and then the next slide has the next 5 seconds, and you could chop it up different ways and get creative with it. So keep that in mind with like some of these new features that Instagram and these other platforms are coming out with. Last but not least, we're going to go into the monetization part, and we'll cover monetization, affiliate links, and direct inquiries, and John will pretty much go into this one.
Yeah, guys, so there are ways to make money from your video content. Everybody knows the most famous way is via YouTube monetization. So essentially what YouTube monetization is placing ads inside or near your video that resonates with your ideal consumer. So for us, we haven't monetized our channel yet, but we have managed other channels that are monetized. And basically what happens is, if you have, let's say it's an exotic car page that's on YouTube, they'll serve up ads like Ford, Nissan, other vehicle-centric ads around your video. So I know you've been on YouTube where you try to watch a video, an ad comes on. Sometimes you can click through it after 5 seconds. Sometimes you have to go through 30 seconds of the video. That's monetization. And essentially, you get paid based on how many minutes are watched, right? So it's not just how long they watch the video, but how many minutes in total that kind of resonates with them to see how much of that content they read to convert to cash. So you don't make money based on the amount of views. You make money based on people's engagement with the ad and what they did. And so that's monetization on YouTube. And that's probably the most popular version. Now they're actually, and I'll add this, I'm sorry. Now there's one rule, though, with YouTube, for monetization, you have to have a combined 10,000 view count on your YouTube channel in regards to video. So that could be across all of your videos, but it has to be equal or more than 10,000 for you to be able to turn on monetization. The next option, and this is one that we use a lot, that performs really well. So we include affiliate links in the content that we promote. So how it works is when you share specific services in the form of an affiliate link and users purchase products from the merchant, you get a commission from each of the sales you generate. So for example, we did a video on Shopify on why it's the best e-commerce platform. Now we did that video, we optimized that, we got it to rank #1 on YouTube. As of right now, I think it has about 2,000 or 3,000 views, and we have about 15 new Shopify signups through that system. So what we'll do is we'll log into our Shopify affiliate account. We'll get a specific link that we share. Anytime we share that link and someone clicks that link and signs up, we get paid a commission. So not only are these products that we're using, but we're getting these products, whereas we're putting it in front of people that it might work for, and we're getting paid a percentage of that revenue. So it works really, really well. And you only want to share products that you like or that you use. You never want to share products that you don't really know much about, because then you're basically selling false information. And you can also let people know, hey, this is an affiliate link. I do get paid from this, but this is a tool that I use on a daily basis. And just so you guys know, almost every company has an affiliate. If, for example, there's a camera online that people want to buy or purchase, or a friend asks you for a recommendation, send them an affiliate link, and you'll get paid a percentage of that as well.
Yeah, I think it's good for influencers take into this, or other people that are subject matter experts. It's all about doing it responsibly too. You don't want to just be spamming affiliate links for things that you don't believe in.
Exactly. And then the last piece is direct inquiries. So these we get a lot from the YouTube videos we create. This is essentially just creating great content that causes users to react by contacting you directly. So what happens is people will watch our Facebook videos on our content on Facebook ads and Facebook content, and then we'll get inquiries via email saying, hey, we'd love to work with you. We'd love to work with you. We saw your YouTube video, and we want to be able to connect and see if you could provide those services to us. So it's you make money by prospect potential clients and leveraging video content in prospect emails.
Yeah, and just kind of round all this up before we go to the Q&A session. Some final notes. With all this stuff that's going on, video is taking pretty much taking front stage on all kind of content right now on social and on digital. And it's also a lot better of a tool to tell those stories that you want to tell from a brand perspective or from whatever you're doing as an individual. So make sure that you're leveraging it so you can tell these stories in a better way. Don't just stick to photos and text. Tailor the videos and post them natively on these channels. This is crucial because if you post a link from YouTube on Facebook, it's not going to get the same amount of reach or exposure as if it was natively posted on Facebook, and vice versa for any other channel. You can't really do anything on YouTube other than directly upload, but on Instagram, on Twitter, and all these other ones, it's better to just kind of upload it natively and allow it to live there. It's going to perform better that way. Using it for paid promotion. If you're going to use Facebook ads, which you should be if you're on Facebook and a brand, otherwise you're probably getting 0 likes on your posts and 10 reach. So use it when you're going to do Facebook ads, because you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck with video. And then last but not least, the leveraging the live feature. Live is huge right now, and this is the first time we have this opportunity to be able to go live and speak to a group of people and be connected in this way than we ever have. So keep that in mind. And if you're a brand that's on the forefront of that, I think people will respect it. And if you do it right, and you'll probably take it to the next level.
Absolutely.
So, and then also we have a few new things that we're going to be offering on top of the monthly free webinars. We're also going to be providing private consultations for anyone that wants to discuss one of their projects or maybe some business that they're doing. We're also offering group workshops and trainings for larger corporate groups or groups of people at different agencies that want to be brought up to speed on these different topics. And then we're going to be working on some elite level webinars, which will be a little bit more exclusive and more focused on a small group that we can interact with on a closer basis. So you can find all that information on the website. And then you can also join our Facebook group where we have these different conversations. We share content. We try and help each other out in terms of any issues you're dealing with in this industry. It's all about sharing and keeping the conversation going, after the webinar is over. So that's pretty much it. We're going to open it up for Q&A. I know that Tanya already, we'll go with the first one, but anyone else get your questions ready? So the first one's, what are your thoughts on organizing YouTube playlists and your content? I think John has a better... Yeah.
So YouTube, creating playlists helps with YouTube SEO, because if you're organizing specific videos into those categories, YouTube adds that to an attribute. So if it's a video about SEO, you want to create a playlist called Search Engine Optimization, and then you want to put that in there and then organize it on your landing page so that it's easy to find. The easier it is for users to find content on your YouTube page, the easier it is for them to look at other content as well. You might also want to look into a free plugin or a free Chrome extension called TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy. It's essentially it helps you with SEO on YouTube. So it helps you find great tags. It integrates with Google search so you can find great tags in your video, and it will make suggestions for you. Buddy, B-U-D is in dog, D is in dog, Y.
Yeah, TubeBuddy.
Brenda asked, hey, Brenda, how you doing? She asked, do you know of a specific camera that does live 360 video? I might go for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, the one that we showed there was, I believe, a Sony one that came out. Nikon has a few. I mean, there's a few. It's almost like you have to go around and look at the reviews, because since it's so new, you really don't know until people get their hands on it, they test it out, and they really get to see, what quality footage it has, how long the battery life is, like all these different things. And there's a massive range. Like you can get cameras that are going to be, 10, 50 G's for 360, or you can get like a consumer one that's going to be $300, $400. I think Belkin even came out with one, which they have some options that they're a little bit more affordable, but in general, I wouldn't, give one example right now to go out, because since I haven't messed around with them, I don't want to put it under my belt. Like, I totally support one camera over the other. All right, so we have a few people typing. We'll see. Cool.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
no problem. Okay, we got a few peeps typing. Oh, look who's in the building. Malcolm, what's going on?
Is that an affiliate link?
Uh-oh. Who posted that?
Yeah, for sure it's an affiliate link. That's awesome.
I love it. There you go, Malcolm. See? There you go.
That's exactly how it's done.
That's the tube.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I love it. So it's a good idea to do Facebook Live at an event that includes panelists, even if that event requires paid admission. Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, that's something that you have to kind of discuss with the organizers and the people involved. If they're getting paid for it, you have to think about the consumer as well, because some of them might feel like, hey, I paid, if it's a high ticket item, you paid $50, $100 or more, and now someone's streaming it for free that didn't pay a dime, that might be an issue. But if it's like if it's a smaller event, maybe someone paid $5, $10 and it's like charity based and that kind of stuff, you're just looking for exposure at that point. Yeah. And I don't know, whoever can tune in and watch and they'll spread your message that way. But usually I'm guessing the higher the ticket, the lower the chance you should be live streaming it to the public.
And we can also look at, live streaming parts of it. So there was a concert a few weeks ago called Rolling Loud with a lot of hip hop artists, kind of like a Coachella, but in South Florida. And Revolt is a company that was live streaming it, right? So they were showing some of the performances, but when it came to some of the high profile performances like Future and Kendrick Lamar, they cut it off, right? So they give you kind of a preview and a snippet to give you an idea of what it's like, so that way next year they can leverage that crowd, but they're still not giving you the whole experience. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which kind of goes to the whole thing of like segments and how long. I mean, I don't think the length really matters. I've seen that during like the countdown for a rocket ship to go out, they just have a live stream of it until it takes off, and now it's going on for hours and hours.
That's true.
And it's almost, sometimes it's good, because since live is being pushed right now, you will see it on your feed. So now if you want extra exposure on something, it could be something that's kind of static. It could be you by the water, hanging out, grilling, like whatever. It's probably going to be pushed up higher because Facebook wants people to use their live feature. So think about it from that standpoint too. It's going to take a little bit higher priority than some other content types.
Yeah, and Brenda, you can also build momentum for your Facebook Live event by scheduling it. So you can schedule Facebook events in the future, so that way you can kind of build momentum before.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily just having your video play, but like David said, you can have a video that just plays consistently throughout the day, and then when it gets hot, you can see that influx of people coming and seeing the content.
Yeah, and in the scheduling things, Facebook will pop up on your feed. Says John is going to schedule to go live today at 1:00, and it'll let you sign up for it essentially, so that you get a notification once they do go live. So that's something so you can get people pretty much registered or ready to go and notified the second that you go live.
David Lopez said, what would you say is the best camera for some simple snaps? Not a photographer by any means, just trying to grow from the iPhone 7 camera, micro macro lens.
Yeah, I mean, the one that you have, entry-level cameras, you're probably looking at like a $400, $500 range to start with a kit and everything. That's to get your hands dirty. Usually people start with like the Canon Rebel and a few other ones. Sony has a few other smaller options. You can look at used options, and the other thing you can do is you can rent equipment. And that way, if there's a camera that you really like that maybe is a little bit higher budget, but you don't want to get that investment right off the bat, you can rent it out for a few days, and it's not that expensive. There's a few camera equipment rental places locally. So you can go and test it out and see if that's the one you want, or if you prefer to stick with what you have.
Yeah, and I mean, right now I have an SL1, I have a stock lens, and then I have a 50 millimeter lens to get that depth of field. And that's pretty much it. And that 50 millimeters, like I think it was 120 when you recommended it. Also Malcolm made a good point. He said if you use Facebook Live and use a trending story keyword, it'll rank highly. So that's another tip for you guys. Appreciate that, Malcolm.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the camera equipment stuff, there's also the option.
So can you list some equipment rental cases?
Yeah, I think we'll if you join, I'm guessing you're part of the Facebook group, so we'll just list it there. That way it's all in one central place and it doesn't just get lost here in the webinar. But in terms of equipment, when you buy a camera, everyone thinks that the camera is just the one most expensive thing, the body of the camera. But if you're going to really go into photography, you're probably going to end up spending more money on lenses than you did on the camera body, because lenses can get really expensive. Like you pay a lot of money for good glass, for good structure lenses that are from manufacturers that have been doing this for a while. And you'll read the reviews on some of these lenses and see the difference between just the simple one that you can get for a couple $100 and the ones that you're spending. I bought one for those $900, and it's something that I thought was an investment for the company, and you could see it in the quality of photo that we're coming out with. So that's really ultimately where you want to go with the content quality and your budget. So that effective engagement-wise, how long should it be? I don't think there's enough studies left right now in terms of live to see what lengths are the most effective. I think the content is being live streamed. If there's a car chase right now, I will watch straight for 15 minutes for whatever reason. But if it's just me watching a lake and water, going by, I don't know if I can watch more than a few seconds of it. Yeah. So there is no length. The content will drive the length, and you need to keep that in mind. So whoever's here telling you like there's a specific set number, don't really listen to it, because it's going to go down to what you're. Yeah,
it's going to come down to your page. So Brenda, one thing you could do is run a few live campaigns and see where the drop off is. If you look in Facebook Insights, you can see where the video drop off was, right? So you might see a high incline as people come on in the first 2 minutes, and then maybe you dip off at a certain point. So use your own topical data to kind of think about how long you need the video to be and how quick it'll take to get your point across.
Yeah, and even if there is a study, especially if you're talking about digital news, that's a different industry than photography. It's a different industry than restaurant. So the data that they would be collecting for that would be from a completely different audience and a completely different subject matter. So it'd be tough to apply those same stats to your content. So always keep that in mind. Your data is the best data. You always have better numbers that's more relevant and direct from your customers.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you have to be willing to test things out too. Try a video that's 10 minutes and then try a video that's 1 minute, and anything in between. And sometimes there's a lot of trial and error in this industry. There's no scientific proof that these videos are going to perform better at 2 minutes,
exactly.
And that's it.
Exactly. Any more questions, guys? We're happy to answer. We still got some time left. Even if it's outside the realm of video, but within digital marketing, feel free to let us know.
Yeah,
we'll give it a couple
and for
more.
those of you who haven't joined the Facebook group, we're going to try and be a little bit more active in it now to keep providing different links, different notes and things that we feel can keep
Absolutely.
providing value on the Facebook group because, this is only once a month and we only have a limited time with you guys. So being able to keep that combo going is essential. Like, we're always trying to stay on top of the latest trends and what's going on in the industry. And we have no problem sharing that with you and being a part of that conversation too.
Exactly. Let's see. Okay. I don't think we have any. Oh, wait. Tanya's typing. Oh, no, she stopped.
Yeah, we'll give it another few seconds. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great week so far. Hope you guys. Oh, look. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
We appreciate it.
Awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If they have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you guys again for taking time to come join the webinar. We're going to be doing another one next month. We'll announce that very soon. And we look forward to having you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Oh, and guys, if you missed some of our past webinars, usually takes us about a week to get them on the site. But if you go to levelupwebinar.com, you can look at our last ones. We talked about Instagram marketing, Facebook marketing, and some other items. So feel free to check it out and let us know what you think.